Have you ever wanted to climb one of your favourite coasters, walk the track length and go behind the scenes to see loads of cool details about how it works? Well, at Blackpool Pleasure Beach you can do exactly that with one of their experiences called Walk the WOODIE. In this you go behind the scenes of the UK's current oldest operating coaster, where we've got to walk the layout of the track and even up the lift hill to the top of the first drop. It was an amazing experience, and today I'm going to take you along with me as I walk the WOODIE at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. If you want to see some more cool behind the scenes stuff from coasters like this, then subscribing to the channel is the best way to do that. I have quite a few behind the scenes videos already out on the channel and hope to do some more in the future, so if you'd like to see more stuff like this, let me know by subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if you can help me get there, that would be awesome. Now, let's go and walk the WOODIE. I have loved Big Dipper for a very long time, and especially its interaction with Icon, which is my favourite coaster at Pleasure Beach. So getting to climb Big Dipper was fantastic, and especially to get some awesome views of Icon. Our experience began by arriving at Southgate and making our way over to Base Camp HQ, the building next to Red Arrow Skyforce. And once we'd been given all of our safety equipment, we could make our way into the ride area. Even before getting on the coaster itself, it was really fun exploring all of these behind the scenes areas of Pleasure Beach. Especially with the park this historic, there is so much going on all around you as the park has grown over the years. Then, after going through this little gate just after the area near the Big Blue Hotel, we were onto the track. Here we were introduced on how to attach our harnesses to the safety line that runs the entire catwalk section of Big Dipper, and then we were on our way climbing up this historic attraction. Already from this lower down portion of the ride, we started to get some incredible views across the park, ones that you can't even really appreciate when you're on the ride because of how fast you're going. This section of Pleasure Beach is also really nicely landscaped as well, with some pretty old trees around the ride area for the Big One, Big Dipper and Icon, so it was really nice to see this part of it. After navigating the little connection points in the line that we were attached to the Big Dipper with, which did have some difficulties at some points, but you do quickly get the hang of it, we arrived at our first stopping point to get some awesome photos of not only Big Dipper but Steeplechase and Icon as well. This is actually my favourite section of Icon, where it drops down and does that little S-bend, so it's really cool to get some nice photos down here and actually spend a lot more time down here than you would if you were on the ride as well. You can really start to appreciate how they actually fit Icon into this park, because it interacts with so many different attractions. It's just crazy how close they all are together. And it was also really fascinating learning about how the different ride areas work as well, because quite a lot of the coasters will actually share the same ride area, which I found absolutely fascinating, and just how that all works together to keep these rides safe and operational for everyone. And obviously getting some beautiful views of Icon, which I know isn't the focus of this video, it's Big Dipper, but I couldn't help getting some amazing photos and videos of both attractions here too. After stopping there for a few minutes, we made our way down underneath Steeplechase. This was the first part where it did get a little bit steep. As you can see, I was having some problems there getting the safety harness over certain parts of it. But it's really cool how close the Big Dipper actually gets to quite a lot of the other attractions around the park. You can see Steeplechase there just above us, Big One in the background, Icon underneath. There are just so many rides on top of each other everywhere in this park. The staff members were also pointing out when there was little steps or uneven parts in the track's catwalk as well, just to keep us all safe and make sure no one was tripping up. Then after this we reached our second stopping point, here getting an incredible view across Steeplechase and Icon and the Big One's lift hill as well. Especially when you're on the coaster track at this level, you get some fantastic views across the area, and it is just magical watching all of these rides interact with each other. It's so cool. Like I mentioned, you do also get some incredible views of all the other rides around Pleasure Beach as well. I think Big Dipper is definitely a special coaster in that fact it goes to pretty much every ride around the park, so it's almost like you're getting a backstage tour of all of the other attractions in Pleasure Beach. From here we began to get closer to a part of the ride that I was really intrigued about whether it would be on the tour or not, and it is the tunnel that goes under the path that leads to the Southgate entrance of Pleasure Beach. I thought with it being quite out of the way, it wouldn't actually be included on the tour, but it was, which was really cool. We had to dismount from the harness to get down here, but it was really cool getting to see this part of the ride, because I think this might be one of the only parts of Pleasure Beach where you can still see the sand from the beach of where this coaster was originally built on. So obviously this whole park was originally just built on sand before it was sort of transformed over the years into a full amusement park, so you can actually see some of the original sand of where the coaster was built on, which was pretty cool. And it was also really nice to see the head chopper element of this as well. I assume this is just structural bracing or maybe just some drainage pipes, I'm not sure, but this part of the ride is known as the head chopper because these do get pretty close when you're on the ride, or at least they feel pretty close. So it was cool to actually spend some more time down here than you actually get whilst you're on the coaster as well, because you whiz through this really quickly. After emerging from under the tunnel, it was really cool to see this section of track here, which is starting to get all overgrown. I found this fascinating. It was almost a little bit like urban exploring in a way, which was really cool, because that is a subsection of YouTube that I find fascinating. I love urban exploring videos, and this felt exactly like that. Then we had to climb onto a different section of track, which was one of the more challenging parts of it. You can see there me checking my hand, which was covered in oil, but it was really cool to like properly climb around this coaster. When I say we climbed the Big Dipper, like we are literally having to climb it, as you can see my friend there getting up from that lower piece of track to the higher part. It was really cool. We did get the option of going a few different directions from this, obviously, if people are struggling to climb up certain parts, which is nice, but we managed to get from here up onto what is called Star Hill. It was really cool being on this really high part of the ride, getting some great views across the park, and you can also see where the Big One's Airtime Hill structure there has almost mirrored this structure of the hill as well on the Big Dipper, which I thought was really cool. That was a fact that I learnt. And the reason why this is called Star Hill, the Boulevard Hotel that you just saw in the previous shot behind us, that used to be the location of a pub called the Star, so that's why this Airtime Hill on Big Dipper was called Star Hill, which is pretty cool. And we did also get some fantastic views from here across the rest of the park, especially looking towards Icon, which was really cool. From here we made our way to the bottom of Star Hill to meet up with where we actually got on the track earlier, just at the bottom of that dip you can see in the big one there. We did get some nice views across the rest of the park from here as well. Some great up close views of the rest of Big Dipper's track that we didn't see earlier. Some nice views of the big one as well, and then we eventually dismounted from the cable as we reached the bottom of the turn with that little gate where we got on earlier to start the next part of the experience. Now, I hadn't actually watched any other vlogs prior to us doing this, so I didn't know where exactly the route would go or if it would be the same as other routes I'd read about on this trip. So I believe the route is the same every time. Obviously it can change for different abilities of climbing, like I mentioned earlier. There are slightly different routes you can take to get up to certain places, which you will see later on as well, along with a extra bit which apparently they don't normally include in the tour, because there was only 3 of us on this one, so we did have some extra time to explore a little bit further into the backstage areas of Big Dipper, which was awesome. After reaching the bottom of this turn outside the Big Blue Hotel, we did take a really cool route to actually get to the part in the experience where we were going to climb up the drop and lift hill for Big Dipper. We actually walked the section of the Pleasure Beach Express that runs from the station all the way round to Big Dipper and Infusion. We walked this entire track length of the train as well, which was really cool. Like I mentioned, this isn't just a backstage tour of Big Dipper. You do get to go all around the park, which was fascinating. You can see there, that is the Star Hill where we were stood earlier. And the journey between the part of the Big Dipper that we were at earlier and where we are going now was really cool. You can see we have just passed the station there for, I'm not sure whether it's still in use, but that used to be a station on the Pleasure Beach Express where you could get off for the hotels. You get some great views across the rest of the Big Dipper here as well, and that big mess of track there you can see in the background of Icon. And then as we slowly approached Infusion in this area, the views got even more different, as you could start to see more parts of the big one, different bits of backstage area, and of course more views of Icon as well, which was fantastic. Like I showed you in a clip earlier at the start of the vlog, I love this section of Icon that comes out over Big Dipper, and there's so many random supports everywhere around here as well. It's so cool. There's just so much interaction between all the rides in this park, and it really is fascinating. Then we also walked past this little boat, which I can assume is to check the footers for infusion maybe, or to retrieve lost items, but I thought that was pretty funny. You are essentially getting a backstage tour of most areas of the park, which is fascinating. And then here we are making our way up to the lift hill and first drop of Big Dipper. This was the highlight for me of this entire tour, and definitely the part I was most looking forward to as we were just starting off. We also got told what the purpose of this metal structure is over this section of track of the Big Dipper as well. This is what they will use to actually take cars off the Big Dipper, put them onto the Pleasure Beach Express track below, take them around to the maintenance area on the track of the Pleasure Beach Express, which is so cool. There was a couple more areas of more interestingly designed catwalk, as you can see here. They did mention that obviously this ride is over 100 years old, so most of the staircases and walkways don't obviously conform to building standards as they would now when they were built. So there are some parts of this tour that are quite difficult to navigate, but that just added to the fun of it. You can see here one of the wheels turning the lift hill chain. This is the same chain that runs for both lift hills, which I thought was really cool. Get a great view of Icon there. So the first and second lift hill of Big Dipper actually do use the same chain system, which was fascinating. You can see the return wheel there for part of that lift hill chain. On our way over to the station now, we walked through the tunnel, which is sort of the first section of the ride after that first turn. Then we stepped onto the track and walked up into the station, and it was really cool getting to see the station completely empty of guests as well. It's a very nicely designed station, I do really like it, and it feels very classic Pleasure Beach. And we also got some nice photos with the train there in a completely empty station, which was pretty cool. You can see all the gear we were wearing as well. The harness was quite large and a bit heavy, but it wasn't too restrictive, so you were still allowed to move around quite freely. You know, obviously it's very important for the safety of an experience like this, especially the part that we're about to do now, which was my favourite part of the entire experience, climbing up the first drop. Now, we were given the option at this point as whether we wanted to climb up the lift hill or the first drop. Obviously climbing up the lift hill was considerably easier than climbing up the drop. You can just see actually that point there is where they keep the trains on a night, which is quite cool. I didn't actually know that that area was there, but yes, we did get the option to climb up the lift hill or the first drop. Obviously me and my mate opted for the first drop, thinking that it would be way cooler, and it was such a cool experience to actually walk up the drop. You have to remember that this coaster is over 100 years old, so this drop isn't that steep on modern standards. I assume it's probably about 45-50 degrees maybe, but when walking up it, wow, does it feel so much steeper. There were certain points of this where it did feel like we were pretty much walking up a near vertical face. Obviously I know it isn't. It was quite difficult, but I did really enjoy this. It was fascinating to do. You really did have to pull yourself up as well. It is quite a physically demanding track walk, but the views when you get to the top of the first drop are more than worth it. The staff, as usual, were being incredibly helpful as to make sure we were getting up safely, asking us if we were okay, if we needed a break. And then once we reached the top, we were allowed to dismount from the safety line, as there isn't a catwalk really that runs around the top of the onion, the teardrop, whatever you want to call it, which we do walk around soon. But first, we really needed to take in the magnificent views that we were getting at the top of this first drop. You can see pretty much every attraction from the park around here, including the sea over the Blackpool coast as well, and this view was just absolutely spectacular. And we did get quite a few nice photos up here as well of ourselves next to the Big Dipper and the first drop in the background as well, and you can genuinely see so much from this vantage point as well. It's probably my favourite spot in the park for views. I have actually done the big one lift hill walk before as well, and I think this experience is actually better. Climbing up the big one lift hill, you do get some fantastic views, but you are so high up, it almost feels like, I don't know, like the views feel like you're on Google Maps or something because you are so high. Whereas with this, you feel like a lot more closer to the ground, and definitely a lot more intimately involved with the experience as well, because the big one lift hill walk was just walking up the lift hill, whereas with this it is so much more. And what was extra special about this as well is that we were some of the first people to do this lift hill walk experience this year, where you can see Evictus in the background. It was so cool getting views over the top of Evictus. We're still not higher, which I thought was really funny. Even with the elevation change, Big Dipper is still not as tall as Evictus, but we did get some fantastic views across there. You can see the teardrop onion thing, whatever you want to call it there, and some fantastic views all the way across this area of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. You can see so many rides. We did get to walk all the way around this as well, which was pretty cool. It was absolutely perfect up here. Beautiful weather as well. It was golden hour, so the sunshine was looking stunning. We even made a little pigeon friend, you can see just here, that joined us for this part of the trip. Got some more nice photos from here as well before we headed back down the lift hill to the station. I genuinely could have stayed up there for hours just taking in the views, getting loads of nice photos, but it was time for us to leave. We never felt rushed at any point getting any photos and videos, which was really nice. You can see some more details there of the lift hill chain and the look over the edge towards Infusion. Infusion does actually look very pretty from here. It's a very nice looking ride. It's just a shame it's a terrible coaster. But what isn't a terrible coaster was Icon, and this was also one of my favourite parts. I have multiple favourite parts of this trip, but one of my favourite parts of this section, I guess, was the views over Icon. The elevated views here, especially near the Immelman, were fantastic, and then we do get a lot closer to Icon's track later on as well as we exit the experience.
Worth it just for them to use Icon.
Overall, I think they said allow 90 minutes for the experience. I'm assuming that would have probably been the case if we had a full group. There was only the 3 of us, so I think we were done in just over an hour, but that did give us time to look at something a little bit extra afterwards as well, which was really nice, and take a lot more photos as well, because I feel like we were at quite a relaxed pace, which was good as well. So I did get some lovely photos of me with Icon in the background, obviously because it's my favourite ride at the park, and also I pretended to operate the ride for a little bit as well. After this, we took in a few more views around the beautiful ride area for these 2 coasters and headed back down towards the station, which is where I assumed the experience was going to end. Oh, look at that view. Beautiful. This has been so fun. But like I said, they did give us a little bit of something extra at the end as well, which was quite cool. I don't think this is included in the normal experience, but because there was only 3 of us, we were done quite a bit quicker than we would have been if the group would have been full. You can see the break in that section of track there where this actually slides over. This is how they get trains down this section of track here into the shed there, which is where they put them away on a night or if they need to put them somewhere for maintenance. And then we actually walked down below this to go into one of the maintenance and control buildings for the Big Dipper, which I found absolutely fascinating. It was also fascinating to hear how different parts of this ride have been improved over time as well. Obviously, when it was built, it was a lot smaller, the maintenance area, and now most of it is electrically ran, although I think the final brakes they mentioned are still operated by a human, which is pretty cool. Obviously, most coasters in the world have automatic braking systems, which this, I think they said, does still have one automatic braking system, but the main brakes at the end of the ride are still human operated. Then we went down here on our walk back to the point where we started the experience and got some fascinating views of Icon. Like I mentioned earlier, this route is part of the track for the Pleasure Beach Express, which does run all around the park. It's actually one of my favourite rides at Pleasure Beach Resort. But we get a lot more time to take in the views on here as well, because obviously when you're on the train it probably is moving a fair bit faster than we're walking here, and we got some beautiful views across Icon, Big Dipper, loads of other rides around the park on this section, and you can really begin to appreciate how they actually designed Icon around not only just Big Dipper but quite a lot of the other attractions around the park as well. You can see this section where the supports go right over the top of Big Dipper, and some of the support structures on this ride are so weird, but it was really cool to get up close to this and really appreciate how they managed to fit so many rides into this small park. And then from here we made our way back along the Pleasure Beach Express line to where we began our experience to finish up, and I have to say this was a fantastic experience. I absolutely loved it. The tickets for this did cost £100 each, which does seem like a lot, especially when compared to some of the other VIP like behind the scenes experiences I have done. But I think this one was worth it, and plus we did get a little souvenir actual piece of Big Dipper track at the end as well, which really made it. I absolutely love that piece of theme park history I will keep forever. So, would I recommend you do the Walk the Woodie experience at Pleasure Beach Resort? Absolutely. I really enjoyed it. It was such a fun experience. Like I said, I did prefer this to the Walking the Big One experience. Like I said, that was just the lift hill. This one was pretty much the entire track length. Some really cool behind the scenes areas of the rest of the park as well. Just views across the entire resort was fantastic to see, and then obviously having a little souvenir at the end as well. I really enjoyed this experience. I'd love to do it again at some point in the future. They have got, I think, a few more dates left for the rest of this year, so definitely go and do one of those if you're a fan of Pleasure Beach, a fan of roller coasters, and experiencing the behind the scenes aspect of them as well. Definitely go and give it a go if that is your thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had a fantastic time doing this experience, and I hope you had a fantastic time watching. If you have, please let me know by subscribing. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm trying to reach 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if you could help me get there, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.